Okay, so after watching a couple of feedback videos, and I made one myself already as well, there's one big concern that I hear very little of, or partially some people have some feedback about that, and that is how will seasons interact with the renown system. So if you didn't know already, each map has a little bit of a renown score. As you can see, if you press W, you can see which ones you already have, how many strongholds, how many side quests, how many altars, how many side dungeons, and so on. Outside of obviously the dungeons being mostly copy-paste boring shit, right? And the side quests sometimes being interesting, sometimes not, hit or miss, strongholds, whatever. But overall, doing this all once is probably fine, right? The problem is, what happens each season? What if each and every season these things reset? So you have to do the same copy-pasted dungeons, the same altars of Lilith, the same strongholds over and over again each and every season. Well, on the other hand, if they say, okay, we don't want you to do that every single time, which I don't think will happen, what else would you do then? You know what I mean? Like, will you just push through the main quest line then and just completely ignore the rest of the map? Or like, how would that even work? Like, I feel like the game is so built upon open world stuff that how would you even design this differently each season? Like, what would be the experience to get to endgame, you know? Do they want to abandon their entire open world so everyone just pushes through the main quest line? Or do they want you to do this renowned shit every single time? And if you didn't know, these are not really optional, you know? In other games like Lost Ark or, I don't know, any RPG, most of the time, collecting all of this stuff is pretty much optional and there's no real reason to complete it entirely, right? But here you get skill points, you get a potion charge, you get maximum of some resource, and you get paragon points as well. So it feels like it's like if you want a strong character, you want to do this. Obviously for each region. So my concern is, do we want to do this every single season? Is this how it's supposed to be designed, that you have to do the same shit every single time? Imagine having to collect like all the Mokoko seeds and adventure tome stuff every single time you make a new character, basically. That's fucking terrible. Obviously it's not the same character, but you get what I'm saying. If each season you have to do this, no shot people will enjoy that. And that obviously ties into the end game as well. If the end game has a lot of these systems too that aren't really tied to, you know, doing nightmare dungeons or PvP or boss fights, and it's a lot about collecting the same shit again that you've already collected before, that could be very problematic. That's all.